So let's take the lead. Kodai Senga's on the hill today for the Mets in Game 1 in Philly against the former Met, Taijuan Walker. Senga's coming off a start where he allowed 4 earned runs in 6 2/3 innings and struck out 8. Not horrible, not amazing. So the Mets rotation will look a bit different this time around, though, because the team optioned Tyler McGill down to AAA Syracuse last night. And just a quick reminder, the Mets will play 10 straight days. And we know they've been utilizing Senga with extra rest for the most part this year.
Other than once, yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, Andy, what does this mean for the rotation starting tonight with Senga?
Well, it's all going to depend, Michelle, on how the weekend goes. I mean, they're arm short in the bullpen, as we know, because Drew Smith's suspended for another 4 days. And they have to decide if they want to give Senga, of course, that extra day of rest that they've given him other than that one time. If the bullpen is as tired as it usually is after a Mets 3-game series, they would probably have to start Senga on regular rest for the second time, which is something that they're not ruling out, even given the fact that he struggled that one time he did it. The Mets aren't going to make a decision that, oh, we can't do that based on that one sample size. If they wanted to give Senga the extra day, they would have to actually cover 2 other games. A guy from AAA, it would either be Joey Lucchesi or David Peterson, plus a bullpen game. So that's a lot of innings to cover. It seems like the cleanest, most convenient thing for Senga to just go on the 4 days rest this time. But again, that'll shake out as Showalter figures out how many pitchers he needs to use and for how long this weekend. But Senga could go regular rest again.
If you were going to start Senga on the non-extra rest, the regular Major League Baseball here in North America rest, would you prefer a bullpen day, you think, or would you prefer to bring up Joey Lucchesi? Because I think, sort of for all the reasons you laid out, they tend to go to their bullpen a lot, especially this year. They have all these games. You got to call up Lucchesi, right? In lieu of doing that bullpen day?
I agree with you. He was just the International League Pitcher of the Week. He's been pitching well down there. Obviously, the Mets bullpen being shot is like probably the major issue of the many issues that they're having this year. I totally agree with that the cleanest, easiest thing to do is to avoid the bullpen game. And I would have Lucchesi and Senga make starts within this next turn.
Just for the numbers, Senga, the only time pitching on regular rest, through 2 2/3 innings and allowed 5 walks.
That's so good.
Let's make the call to the bullpen and bring in Britt Giroli. Britt, Senga's best start of his young MLB career came against the Phillies. He pitched 7 shutout innings of 1-hit baseball and struck out 9. So what is your confidence level in him going into tonight's start?
Well, I think it has to be high. I think if you're the Mets, guys, you have to believe in this guy because he's been your best starter all year. I mean, it's crazy to think, but where would the New York Mets be without Senga? Forget Verlander, forget Scherzer. He's led the staff in terms of ERA, innings pitched. He's been a workhorse, and not necessarily the way you wanted, right? This is a guy you wanted to give that extra rest. You wanted to acclimate to being in that 5-man rotation, to adjusting to a different baseball, a different mound, all these things that have been thrown at him, and he has still been able to perform. So, you know, I was talking to a scout about a week ago, and his name came up, and they said what's most impressive about Kodai Senga right now is conviction. You know, a lot of guys come up here, they get rattled, they have a couple bad starts. He said this guy has conviction in a lot of his pitches, but especially that ghost fork. It's not something where it feels like he's going to lose feel or he has a bad inning. He has the conviction to continue to stick with his game plan, and that's what's made him pretty successful.
I definitely agree. I think it'll be a very interesting test to see how he does tonight against the Phillies for the second time.